We now go to Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The ranking member said that these are just mistakes. They're just unforced errors. I think the American people would say something completely different. I would say, no, these aren't mistakes, unforced errors. This is intentional deception, and it's nothing new. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Premiums are going to go down. Premiums are going to go down $2,500 on average. The website will work. The website's secure. CMS, Ms. Tavenner tells us they have 7.3 million enrollees. They forgot to count 400,000 dental plans in that number. And then we get to Mr. Gruber. Mr. Gruber testified before Congress about Obamacare and didn't disclose that he was being paid by the Obama administration. That's deception at its highest form. And then, of course, we have the videos, the now famous videos, where Mr. Gruber used taxpayer dollars to deceive taxpayers, and then when Obamacare became law, he made fun of them and insulted them. By the way, Mr. Gruber, back to the question we had a little discussion on earlier. How much were you paid, you and your institution, by the federal taxpayer and by the state taxpayer regarding your lectures on Obamacare?
I have disclosed for the committee, as I understand from my counsel, I'm required federal payment.
I'm not asking what you disclosed. I'm asking you a question. Give me a dollar amount. How much were you paid? The American taxpayer would like to know how much they paid you to deceive them and then got made fun of by the very dollars that they paid you to make fun of them. That. So how much were you paid?
As I said, the committee can take that up with my counsel.
So you're not going to answer the question? You're under oath? We're asking you a simple question. You come to the committee, we ask a question, you're supposed to answer the question. How much were you paid by the federal taxpayer and the state taxpayer?
As I said, the committee can take that up with my counsel and be happy to provide whatever.
All right, I got one other
The gentleman suspend for a moment.
Keep my time.
I want to advise everyone that the counsel has said that they're not available to clear up the errors and omissions in the gentleman's truth filing. It does require, our form does require grants, contracts. In other words, we cover all revenue. We only received about $100,000, which is far less than the gentleman's testimony, in disclosures, which were 3 grants. As a result, the gentleman's disclosure is not complete. So I would admonish Dr. Gruber, your choice really is answer questions fully here and then supplement, or we will seek to bring you back with the full disclosure and in order to get all the other numbers. It's really your choice. Your counsel can advise you, but we find by your own testimony, we find your submission deficient. And your counsel is ill-advised to say that it is sufficient because it only includes grants and you have contracts, and you've admitted under oath that you have contracts. So those are not listed, and you are deficient. Again, this is our last hearing. If I don't have to recess and come back again, I would like to not have to recess and come back again. So please do not make this drag on longer. If you can give answers to the best of your recollection, and we will accept an amendment, if that's the case, an addendum at a later date. But the gentleman is entitled to questions to the best of your knowledge answered. You took an oath saying you would tell the truth, the whole truth, not the truth and only what your counsel says is going to be discussed. It is all questions, all answers. And if Mr. Cummings were sitting in this chair or anyone else, we could expect no less. Mr. Cummings.
Mr. Chairman, I think his counsel is talking to him. Why don't we give him a second?
We'll pause.
Mr. Chairman, just on that question, I have a PolitiFact document here, and they have a fact checker thing that has, all kinds of numbers. They went into this in depth as to what the gentleman was paid, and I was wondering if we just enter this in as part of the record.
We'll certainly be happy to enter in without objection.
Thank you.
The gentleman for Ohio may continue. And I'd ask unanimous consent. You have additional 30 seconds without objection.
Well, I think I have a question on the table to Mr. Gruber. I'm waiting for his answer.
I was informed that I should report all federal monies received through grants or contracts for this fiscal year and the previous 2 fiscal years. I did that. I've received no federal contracts.
I don't care what you were informed, Mr. Gruber. I care about what I'm asking you. And what I'm asking you is how much money did the taxpayers, state or federal, pay you to have you then lie to them? That's what I want to know.
Oh, over this fiscal year and the previous
No,
two fiscal years?
no, total. I mean, look, this is this has been a 5-year ordeal with this law. We want to know how much you got from the taxpayer and then made fun of him after you got the money and lied to him.
I don't recall the total.
Well, we want that information as quick as we can. Let me switch gears, and Mr. Gruber, in a strange way, I kind of appreciate what you said in the videos because it seems to me for the first time someone came clean and told the truth. You told people you were actually believing this. So here's my one question I want to get to. Politico reported that Steve Ratner called you the man when it came to Obamacare. The Washington Post said you were the key architect of Obamacare. The New York Times said the White House lent you to Capitol Hill to help Congress draft Obamacare. They said, go on up there and help those poor folks on Capitol Hill get it right. You're the expert. Go up and help those congressmen who don't know what they're doing. The president said he had, quote, stolen ideas from you to draft Obamacare. You visited the White House 21 times. You met with the president, your own words. You met with the president in the Oval Office. So I have one question. A few weeks ago when the videos surfaced, what was your reaction when the President of the United States said you were just some advisor? Remember, you're the man, you're the architect, been in the White House 21 times, you go to Capitol Hill to help those poor saps get it right. The President stole from your ideas. You're the key guy, and yet when the videos surface, the President of the United States throws you under the bus and says you're just some random advisor. What was your reaction to that, Mr. Gruber?
My reaction was that my job was to be an advisor, and that's what I was.
Ms. Tavenner, you're currently enrolling people in the federal exchanges. How many people have you enrolled thus far in this enrollment period?
I don't have that number before me, but I can get you that number.
You don't have that number? Well, even if you did, we might not believe it based on past experience. So let me ask you this. You're familiar with the lawsuit, the court case King versus Burwell?
I am familiar with the case.
Okay. If the ruling goes against and says what Mr. Gruber said in some of those, that in fact those states who have not set up a state exchange can't give subsidies to their enrollees, have you been explaining to people signing up for Obamacare that, look, this all may change in a matter of months? Have you been letting people know that they might have to pay a lot more in their premiums and, in fact, have a tax liability they don't know that they have today? You got to speak up.
Nothing has changed for consumers. They can still come in. They
no, I'm not. Are you telling people things may change? We got a court case, pretty big case. Fundamental question. Are you telling them there might be a change?
This is not a close case. Pretty much plainly.
I didn't say that. I say it might be. Are you giving them a heads up that, in fact, things may change in a big way in a few months?
I'm not going to speculate about the case.
I'm not asking you to speculate. I'm asking, are you telling enrollees that things may change in a few months?
Nothing has changed for consumers, and I'm telling them
so
to
they
come
can
in
get
and
a
enroll
shock,
for
and you're
care.
not preparing them for the fourfold increase in premiums and the tax liability they may have?
I have told you consumers should come in, they should sign up, they should enroll.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, do you think, Ms. Tavenner, one last question, Mr. Chairman. Do you think it's responsible to not tell the millions of enrollees who are in states that have not set up a state exchange, do you think it's at all responsible not to tell them that things may change dramatically and they'd have a tax liability and their premiums could increase as much as fourfold?
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentlelady may answer.
I'm sorry?
You may answer. Time has expired.
Thank
you
you.
may answer.
And I have told you this is not a close case, and I'm not going to speculate. The law is pretty clear.
I will take that as a no, you are not telling them because of the statements you just made relative to your opinion of the case. Is that right?
I have said nothing has changed for consumers. They should sign up, come in, and enroll.
Mr. Chairman, you know, if we're going to get into the court case, no one can say that would be retroactive.
Eleanor, I'm not trying to get into it. The gentleman was entitled to a no, we're not. I wanted to make it clear that when she said why she wasn't telling them, that she wasn't telling them, and I think she made that clear as to why she decided not to inform them.
I think